Season 10. You join us for League 2A. As you can see, we are at Watkins Glen International. And obviously we are in round 4 this week, and we are in the Group 3 cars. So let's get down to track level, and after 10 minutes of qualifying, Osman is on pole. We do have 2 new drivers. Osman is one of them to this league, and then in second place we have Wiz. In third we have Phil. In fourth we have Pirate Jim. In fifth we have Mark Schumacher. In sixth we have Infinity James. In seventh we have Scott. In eighth we have Golden Brownie. In ninth place we have Wacky Racer. In 10th we have Gary. In 11th we have Brucey. In 12th place we have Infinity Graphics. In 13th we have Ice Chand. In 14th, and another new driver to the league, is Smoky Tom. In 15th we have Staffy. And in 16th we have Surfer. So we have a stacked lobby for Gran Turismo anyway. And let's jump up to the front and get these boys underway. We are here for 1 hour racing, and away they go. Wiz gets a cracking start there in front of Osman, who's dropped down to 4th position before turn 1. Let's just see, make sure everyone gets through cleanly. A few gone off wide, but possibly just for a bit of bumping. But that's through turn 1 nicely. So Phil up into 1st position with Pirate Jim in 2nd, Mark 3rd with 4th. Osman has dropped down to 5th place currently. And we all get through the inner loop. Brucey picks up a half-second penalty, possibly for running wide on turn 1, but Staffy there in 16th after the runners, but we're all clean through the bus stop for the first time. And obviously for this race they do have to run 2 sets of tyres, so softs, mediums, or mediums hards, whichever one you want to do. You can do hards and softs if you really want to. We'll see how the boys get on. Was under attack there from Osman, and Osman backs off, coming into, I don't know what 10 number that is. It seems to be fairly clean so far. Infinity James there in 7th, being trapped by Golden Brownie. Brucey's dropped back a few places. He was up behind Golden. He served the half-second penalty, that would be why. He's dropped down a couple of places from there. He's looking up for a move on Ice. Will he make it? No, but Ice gives him room. And does slip up the inside of turn 1. And Smokey there is just sitting back, seeing what opportunity he can take from these two having a little scrap. Yes, I do believe the Nissan is quicker than the Lexus in a straight line. Who's going to brake latest? Brucey brakes latest going into the bus stop. Get through there nice and cleanly. Staffy's got ahead of Wacky for 15th place, but Pirate Jim just running a little bit wide. I'm guessing Pirate Jim's livery for some reason is not uploaded. And for why? Because he is Mark Schumacher's teammate, so they both should have been running the pink BWT livery. Phil having to defend there, obviously going wide coming out the exits, picked up a half-second penalty. not what he's going to be wanting in first position with Jim right over his tailpipe. Infinity James has gone wide. Let's just have a quick jump back to see why. Just behind Golden Brownie. Did he just get the braking point a little bit wrong? Looks like he did. So it has allowed, looks like, Gary to slip up the inside, but he's now going to be left on the outside as Gary round this corner, but James lets him go. James is on the medium tyres and Gary's on the soft, so we'll have more grip around the outside of that corner. So James down to 9th. Did qualify fairly well. Infinity Graphics there being chased down by Brucey. Ice has dropped back as Tom's got past Ice on the last lap. Now them two are going to be fighting coming up the hill up towards the bus stop. Ice has got up the inside of Tom, so they're going to go behind side by side. Ice backed out last time, but it looks like Tom's backed out early to let Ice have the position back. Nice clean driving from him, but look at this gaggle of cars here with Golden in front, not far off the back of Wiz, but Gary, James, Brucey and Graphics all in a line of each other. They're still fighting hard even in the mid-pack of the race. And jump up and see, oh, these four really closed up together. They were a little bit spread out, but obviously this last lap they've obviously with Phil serving his penalty this time round as well. They only allowed Pirate Jim to get in front of him. So these four have pulled out from Scott in 5th position. Phil's already got shown some tyre wear on his softs already after 3 laps of racing, so really pushing hard to use everything he can, but fanning out a little bit coming into turn 1. He'll get back in line for the apex. So will there be a move by anyone coming up the hill toward the bus stop? So it feels looking a little bit this way and that way to see which way Jim's going to place his car coming up to it, but looks like he's going to sit behind, but Ozman has come side by side with Mark, backs out of it going into it. You don't want to be going side by side through there, but gets a better drive coming out of the corner. Might just have a little tap on the back of Mark there, but still keep facing straight. Scott there, just a little bit of a gap between him and Wiz. It must be, what's that, 1 minute. They've already pulled about a 3-second gap from 4th to 5th at the moment. So the older Toyota Supra isn't doing. Oh, and Wiz goes for. Must have been really late onto the brakes there. Here comes Golden Brownie up the outside. Will he make the move? He does. So Wiz there, not been able to stop that boat of Genesis into that right-hander. Same issue that James had a couple of laps ago, but now under attack from Gary. Gary goes up the inside. I don't know if there was a bit of a tap there, but it looks like Gary might have just backed off a little bit to give Wiz the place back, not taking advantage of from tapping someone wide. That has promoted Golden Brownie up into 6th position from Wiz going wide, and you can see how much that's dropped him back from Golden Brownie and Scott, who he was running with. But now Wiz at the head of the mid-pack in 7th, Gary in 8th. Let's see if Brucey up to 9th, Graphic's 10th, James has dropped back to 11th at the moment. Obviously really struggling on their mediums. I think a lot of people started on their softs. We'll go through the tyres of everyone in a second. Nice there. So, you know, it's Stuffy and Wacky have just dropped off the back for the time being. Wacky's on the mediums, so potentially trying to go a little bit longer than the likes of Stuffy, who's on the softs for the first stint at least. Obviously we'll find out if it's a 2-stop or a 1-stop race from everyone. I think there was a few different strategies being had in this. So as we start the lap 6, put Jim in first, Phil and then Osman has got past Mark for 3rd position. Mark has just dropped off the back of these guys a tiny bit at the moment. Pirate Jim on the softs, Phil on softs, Osman softs, Mark on softs, so top 4 all on softs. Scott there. We didn't have the best of laps the last lap because the Golden Runnings were right up to the back of him. He's not going to be able to do anything coming into the bus stop. Nice and tight from them two going through there, and Golden Brownie on softs. Look how much tyre wear difference there are between the softs of Scott and the softs on Golden Brownie's Lexus. The Lexus is a heavy car, so we'll burn through the tyres more than potentially that Supra, because I do believe it is quite a lot lighter. Wiz is on the mediums, so gone for the harder of the compound, or medium of the compounds. Scott's racing mediums for the start of the race, so he's the first of the medium runners. Gary's on the softs. Brucey started on the softs as well, and you can see the difference there again of that Lexus compared to the likes of Gary just ahead of him. Graphics has gone for the mediums. James has gone mediums. Tom has gone mediums. Surfer also has gone mediums. Ice mediums. Stuffy soft, and Wacky on mediums. So it's clear divide there that the mediums are from Wiz in 7th position. Backwards, and all the soft, well, most of the soft runners are at the front. But these 4 guys, Mark has just caught up to him, so they are battling quite hard for Mark to catch up. But we're going to be going. Oh, I thought we were going to be going 3 wide there coming to the bus stop, and that is definitely not advised. Bad enough going too wide going into there. Has allowed Phil to just get a little bit of a gap over Jim, but obviously I've missed that Phil got in front of Jim at some point, so I was doing the tyre strategies. At least we're definitely racing very hard for number 1 spot, and we're only 10 minutes in. We've still got another 58 minutes to go, 48 minutes to go of this race. Coming through there, we pulled a bit of even more time over Scott in 5th. The Golden Brownie's keeping just close enough on Scott. If anything happens, he's there to pounce. Gary there, still at the back end of Wiz, not been able to do much about getting past him. Oh, Wiz goes wide. That could be a half-second penalty there. Running wide onto the tarmac, the other side of the curb, and it is. So it's going to give Gary a chance when they come to the penalty line, but I don't think Gary's going to need it. Looks like he's going to go for the move up the inside of turn 1. And he does. He gets it nicely planted around the apex. And will Gary be able to defend from Wiz coming up to the bus stop? I don't know if Wiz is going to fight it with that half-second penalty. It's only going to slow both of them down, fighting it through the bus stop and the remainder of the lap to the penalty line. And just sit behind. And here comes the rest of the pack. Graphics now ahead of Brucey, so I don't know if Brucey's picked up a penalty or two the last lap. Graphics to get ahead of him. James still there in 11th, with Tom just behind, kicking up a little bit of dirt there, coming into the boot. I have a bit of tyre squealing there from Surfer. What happened there was Surfer coming through that's the toe, isn't it, of the boot section of the lap. A little bit too wide. Did he get power on too early? And yeah, power on too early and just kicked the back end out. It's good to see everyone's still fairly close to each other. Even Wacky there in 16th, only a second and a half or so from Ice in 15th. Still keeping nice and close to each other. Looking at track map, there's not really much white between the cars apart from the front four that have checked out. And Pirate Jim has dropped back. What happened to Pirate Jim on that lap? He's dropped back there. Oh, we got a big crash. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Phil's lost it coming in. And then Pirate Jim looks like he loses it on the exit. Let's jump on board and see what happens there. Oh, Phil touches the grass. Yeah, there's not much Phil could have done there. Pirate Jim on the inside and loses the back end and kind of cuts across in the front of Phil. So that's dropped Pirate Jim from the front four. It looks like Scott's caught right up to the back of him, and that's unfortunate there for Pirate Jim. Obviously carrying a little bit of damage as well for I think it was about 30 seconds after the incident, or after he picked up damage, until it's cleared. There you go, it's cleared now. So will Scott have a run into turn one of Jim? Looks like he does. Give each other racing room. Ooh, oh, it's getting a bit squirrely there coming out the exit of turn one. Scott's on the inside, side by side up the hill. See there in the background, Golden Brownie's picked up a half-second penalty. Scott's has cleared Jim coming up to the bus stop, so Scott's now into 4th place. Golden Brownie has obviously dropped up a little bit from the back of Scott. That's on the last lap. But Phil is still in 1st place, even after that little touch of grass coming up to the next right-hander after this one. A lap ago. But these three, there's really nothing between them. All running in at the 45s, high 45s, low 46s each lap. Looks like 44 there from Osman on lap 5 for the fastest lap of the race so far. Does have a look up the inside of Mark, but he thinks better of it to try and get him into turn 1 or uphill towards the bus stop. Now after Golden served that penalty, he's dropped into the clutches of Gary. Golden Bunny's got really no more tyres left. Is he going to be pitting this lap? No, he's going to go one more, it looks like, because you've got to be on the right hand side coming into the pit lane. If you touch that yellow line, you do get a 3-second penalty, but Gary looks like he's going up for the inside of Golden here into turn 1. Golden does let him go. Probably thinks I've got absolutely knackered tyres compared to Gary, that he's only halfway worn on the front left, where Golden's down to a Rizzler paper of tyre left to really come into the end of this lap. We shall see. Just pull out the slipstream early, so let Gary keep the racing line into the bus stop. This is just sat there watching this all unfold, see if he can pick up any pieces this lap. Graphics there, still got Brucey up behind him. Looks like Tom's there, has got past James finally. Probably a lap or two ago. So for there in 13th, with his teammate Ice in 14th just behind him. So the two Nissans obviously not doing too well at the moment, but the race will probably come back to him later on, because as I say, you have to run two different tyre compounds, so they've gone for the medium to start with, and they'll probably jump onto the softs for the rest of the race. Obviously all the soft boys will have to jump on the mediums. Obviously these will catch them back up. So that's the good thing about the longer races. The strategies all come together at the end. Got Staffy there in 15th and Wacky in 16th. Wacky's hardly got any tyre wear at all on that car after 18 minutes of racing. And there we go, you see Golden Brownie's in the pit there on the left. So he's done his soft stint. He's put on new tyres, but what tyres has he put on? We shall see when he comes out the pit. Obviously there with a half-second penalty, probably for the exit of turn 1. Quite common to get one there. This there now has been given clean air from Golden Brownie pitting. Obviously Gary's been given a sigh of relief from not having someone right up behind him. Scott's dropped off the back of Jim. So as I said, Jim's definitely got the pace to pull away from the majority of the guys behind him, but it's going to struggle now to catch up to the rear of these three, and Osman has got up into first place. What lap was that been on? That would probably been on lap 9, looking at the timings. Potentially, or it could have been on this lap. Yeah, Phil was. So let's just quickly jump back. It was coming up to the bus stop. So I'll do a straightforward slingshot past with the slipstream. Gets ahead, Phil has to back out, he's too far behind, so that is the change for the lead. And we'll jump back to where we were. There we are. These guys have all been racing hard, and yeah, tyre wear is all fairly similar. Mark's coming into pit, there we go. Very, very slow pit entry, it's horrible. So as soon as you touch that yellow line, that is it. 3-second penalty is awarded to you straight away when you come out of the pits. And so that'll be, if you do see that on a car as I'm flicking through, that will probably be what it will be for. And obviously on the exit as well, you do have that yellow line. But if you do touch there just above Gary, if you touch that one as well, you do get another 3-second penalty, so you could end up with a 6-second penalty just from the pit stops. Has anyone else pitted this lap? No, Brucey's pitted as well. Golden's come out on Mason medium, so he's doing the harder compound. He's run so far for his middle stint, so I don't believe he'll be able to make 40 minutes on the mediums in that car. It does put him, will it put him out ahead of Brucey? Yes, so it looks like Brucey has gained up time on Golden Brownie through the pit stop cycle. Don't know if Golden picked up a penalty coming in. Phil's got back ahead of Osman. Another change for the lead. Where did that happen? Down into turn 1, late on the brakes, but he gets it stopped. So So you can't say it was an absolute dive, but that was literally just as Mark came in the pit, so I missed that as I was flicking through to see if anyone else was making a pit stop. So we jumped back up to, where were we? We were here. So yeah, Phil's back into the lead and pulled a little bit of a gap over Osman this lap. Obviously we'll see where he comes, where they both come out with Mark once they make their pit stop. Could be this lap, could be the next. And we'll see as they come around here. Phil's going wide, there we go. Osman dived to the inside of the corner. So he's coming to the pit, very close coming in. Pirate Jim goes round, Scott carries on going. He's got a bit of a tag on the front left because he's got a bit of damage there. Gary's gone round, Wiz has gone round. Looks like everyone else, James is going round again. Surfer, is Surfer going round? Yep, Surfer's going round. Ice going round. Looks like everyone else is going round at the moment. You see there, Tom's really been saving his tyres. He's only halfway worn on his mediums, so could he potentially be doing a one stop. Just eking these tyres out as much as he can. So Osman has now come out of the pits in 13th position, came in second, so it shows you how tight the field is and also how long the pit stop is. He has come out just in front of Mark, so these two do carry on the way they were before they came into the pits. Obviously Osman will have cold tyres compared to Mark's 1 lap older but 1 lap hotter tyres, so can he make them work in his advantage for this lap? And then obviously by the end of this lap Osman will have his tyres back up to temperature to carry on going and hopefully not make any mistakes. Golden and Brucey there, 15th and 16th, so Phil comes round. Alderman by himself at the moment, he's probably enjoying it, not having to keep looking in his mirrors to see if anyone's going to be coming up behind him into any of the braking zones or even down the straight. So Pirate Jim is into the pit on lap 14. No, that end lap 13. Pit stops must be after the pit line or start finish line. So Wiz has gone through into 4th at the moment. So we'll see where Pirate Jim comes out. He should come out behind Mark, but in front of Golden, in that gap where he was before everyone else came into the pit. One's a bit spaced out. Staffy and Surfer having a nice little battle here for 7th and 8th position. Will Staffy be able to do anything about Surfer coming up to the bus stop? That Supra's got some serious speed down the straights. Actually just walked down the outside of Surfer there. So a change of position for 7th position there. Staffy is on the racing softs, and he got a little bit worse tyre wear than Surfer, who's on the mediums. So yeah, that Supra's definitely good on its tyres, seeing that Scott, let's see, on just a tiny bit. Yeah, they're both about the same amount of tyre wear for the two older Supras. I think it's either the 95 or the 98, I can't remember what year the Supra is from, but Phil is coming into the pit, so we'll see where he comes out with Osman and who's the other one? My brain's gone blank. Mark. Yeah, Pirate Jim there. He's really caught up to the back of these two, but he's not put as much fuel in. So these guys are clearly doing a 2-stop. So we'll only be putting in 3/4 of a tank. Simply the light was flashing for most of them when they came in after a full tank. The racing lasted them about 20 to 25 minutes. Smoky Tom into the pit. Wiz is in, Phil is in, Graphics is in, Gary's in, and James, all in the pit. So everyone's got to the 25-minute mark, 15th lap, end of lap 14, and Phil there has come out behind Jim, Mark and Osman, but he has put a full tank of fuel in. Is he now going to be trying to eke that out for 35 minutes? That's going to be a tough ask. Because obviously his fuel up was flashing after, say, 25, nearly 26 minutes, so it'll be interesting to see if he really drops off the back of these boys. Then he's probably trying to fuel save to miss the splash close to the end of the race. It has opened these 4 guys up, but they're just coming up to the back of Wacky Racer. He obviously still hasn't pitted yet. Got fuel for days and tyres for days at the moment. After 27 minutes of racing. Oh, Pirate Jim, what's happened there? There's Pirate Jim. What's happened to Pirate Jim? Let's have a look here. Just if I notice, he has been a bit jumpy over the track. No inputs at all. Nope. That's either a wheel disconnected or his game has crashed. 26 minutes into the race. Not what you wanted to see, but that is... He's just sat there, but... Yeah, there we go, he's just left the race, so... Yeah, his game clearly had other ideas of what he was going to be doing on this race. But Gary is having a nice little battle here with Graphics for 11th and 12th, and Brucey's closing up to the back of these guys, but Gary is on another set of softs, so he's done 2 sets of softs, so he'll be coming in for mediums for the end of the race at some point. But Brucey there going up for a move. Is he? No, he's going to sit behind Graphics for turn 1. Hoping to get a better drive out, but looks like he does. Pulls alongside Graphics into turn 2 up the hill. Giving Gary a little bit of breathing room here. Coming up to the bus stop. Oh no, not Porsche. Clearly he's got better straight line speed up the hill than the Lexus. Brucey just sits behind into the bus stop. James has got a Smoky Tom behind him. They both pitted on the same lap. So change. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I was wondering why the lap times are so different for lap 15, 8 seconds. And if you look at the fuel, James looks like he filled up to the max, and Smokey only filled up to just over halfway. Lets Smokey past. Obviously different tyres are on, and obviously a lighter car for Tom at the moment, but James is having a little look back here as Surfer comes into the pit. So does anyone else? Ice comes into the pit. Scott is running around on red tyres, no fuel. They've only just gone red, I believe, in the last lap, so he should be coming in at the end of this one. Same as Steffi, so the 2 older Supras clearly on the same strategy of running the tyre until you have no more tyre left. Obviously, seeing that they've done near enough half an hour on the softs, so they'll be going to the mediums and doing the same sort of strategy with the fuel to make that last. But Osman there in 3rd position, obviously will get promoted back up to P1 when Scott and Staffy pit. Let's pull a bit of a gap over Mark and Wacky. Oh, Wacky hasn't pitted yet. I don't know how Wacky's still got so much fuel left. half an hour racing and he's still got about 20% of fuel left, and still loads of tyre. So that Porsche clearly very good at saving fuel and tyres, or it could even be the driver itself. We all know that Rocky's a fairly quick driver, so obviously the strategy they've picked for this race is obviously torch in the hair, slow and steady, hopefully looking to win the race. But obviously when you're already a pit stop down from the guys in front of you, it's going to be hard to make that back up, that's for sure. But Scott and Staffy are into the pit, so they've done the maximum they can do on red tyres, filling up to the max. I'm sure Staffy will be doing the same as well. Phil goes for the move up the inside of Wacky into turn 1. Wacky's going to say thank you very much, I'll sit in your slipstream and save even more fuel. Got that extra little thimble of fuel saved by being in the slipstream. Wiz there in 5th, got a bit of a gap in front, but he should be catching it up to the back of Wacky. So it's a purple lap as well on the last lap of 1:44.7. So he's definitely on a charge to catch up to the guys in front of him. This is the 4 that broke away. Obviously we're now down to Phil due to Jim having a disconnect, obviously none of his fault. Golden there with Scott, who's just come up behind him. So Scott will probably be liking the fact that he's going to put someone in front to save a bit of fuel for the first couple of laps coming out of the pits. Obviously got Graphics in 8th position there and Brucey in 9th. Brucey has caught up to the back of Golden. They came out the pits obviously last and second to last, and there was a good 4 or 5 seconds between them, and that only is about 2 to 2.5, I'd say, between the front of this pack and the back. So Scott and Graphics in a Lexus sandwich. You can choose who you want to be the meat and who you want to be the cheese. Gary there in 10th position, struggling a little bit there, it looks like. Yeah, he's had an incident this lap, 11 seconds down, which isn't obviously ideal. But he's got Tom, Surfer and James not far behind him, so you've got 2 groups of 4 here fighting for, what's this place? This is 10th place and Golden in 6th, so yeah, 2 groups of 4 there, and then you've got Wacky there, has been overtaken by Wiz. So Wiz definitely on a charge, it was a little bit slower, probably trying to get past Wacky, but right up to the back of Phil. He definitely looks like he is fuel saving, because he has dropped off the back of Mark and Ozman, and with Wiz being able to fly up to the back of him. Phil's lap time of a 46.8 and a 46.9. And you look at Wiz's of a 44.7 and a 45.1. Yeah, second and a half, 2 seconds of that or so quicker, but it does pick up a penalty for going wide coming up that hill right-hander. He's going to try and take Phil around the outside. No, he slips in behind, but tries for the cutback. The old crofty switcheroo. Does he make it work? He doesn't. So he's going to have to sit behind Phil, potentially cross the line, and then maybe make a move coming up to the bus stop in a couple of corners' time. But this man has, what's he doing? 45s, 47 there. So he ran it wide somewhere or picked up some damage because he has got half second penalty. So that is going to drop him back to the clutches of Mark behind. Wiz there going side by side again with Phil up to the bus stop. He is slightly bit ahead. Who's going to be braking latest? It's Phil's going to pull in behind Wiz, so Wiz has worked his way up to 3rd position. So that Genesis has definitely come alive for Wiz since he's put them softs on. Clearly didn't like the mediums. Not enough grip for the Genesis, even with that wing. Look at the size of it. Flying aeroplane with the size of that wing. And the Wacky there still hasn't pitted, but looks like he will be coming in because he has near enough run out of fuel. These obviously, look at the lap times of 48s and 49s. Should have a 47 in there, but you look at the likes of Wiz doing 46s on mediums and then 44s and 45s on the softs. It's definitely fuel saving. Maybe have another fuel map 3 or maybe 4 to get 36 minutes of fuel out of the tank when everyone else is only getting about 20 minutes. And does he come into the pit? Looks like he is. Keep it inside that yellow line. So into the pit goes Wacky from 5th place. His teammate here coming round to overtake him. Clearly on different strategies for Team Porsche, seeing which one works out best for their team rather than putting them on the same strategy and running the risk of having a race long battle. Golden Brownie goes wide there. Looks like coming out of turn 1. Does he pick up a penalty? He does. It's allowed Scott and Brucey to nip up the inside of him. I think Scott already got past, but Golden probably let Brucey go past him. They are teammates. Trying to be holding each other up when Brucey is fighting for 6th place now with Scott. But it looks like they are catching up to graphics. No, graphics. Yeah, graphics looks like he might have had a little bit of an incident through the bus stop. He's a couple of seconds down this lap than Scott is. So Golden's going to be serving that penalty and probably dropping back into the clutches of Gary. We shall find out when he served it. Gary's got Tom not far behind him. Does Gary come up behind Golden? Doesn't look like it. He is. Golden had a bit more of a gap than I originally thought. But Osman is back into the pits. He's done his medium stint. He don't want to do any more. See where he comes out with everyone else. He has put on probably a racing softs, maybe 90% of fuel. 94, not a bad guess. He's saying he's on mediums, but we'll see when he comes out of the pits what the game puts him on. It does take until he's in the car, racing softs. So he's got racing softs on. He comes out just ahead of James. He's getting a bit squirrely coming out of turn 1. So that's Osman back down to 11th, but obviously he has pitted twice, where we do believe it's only going to be Scott, Staffy and Wacky trying the one stop in this race. I think a lot of the guys will be doing 2. There in 13th. Kind of a bit of a lonely race for Ice so far, but still with 20 minutes left to go and everyone having to make another pit stop. Could all change where they end up. So it's Staffy there in 14th. So don't know where Scott is. Where's Scott? Scott's in 5th place. And look, obviously he's the higher runner of the one stops. Staffy in 14th and Wacky in 15th. Mark has come into the pit, so he's had enough of his medium tyres, so that has promoted a Wiz, the flying Wiz, into 1st place, who's pulled a fairly decent sized gap over Phil, but I do believe Phil is trying the one stop as well. There's another one I forgot about that's trying to do the one stop. did do about 25 minutes, I think, if I recall, on the softs, which was a full tank. So he is trying for 35 minutes. So an extra 10 minutes from the tank, which is a fairly decent time, but seeing he's already a second down at the first sector, which is really only one braking zone, I would believe that he is on a fuel saving strategy. Ooh, graphics getting in hot into the bus stop, getting a little bit of a dirty grip coming back onto the track, but does allow Brucey to see which ways he's going to try and get past Graphics. Graphics gives him racing room. Brucey slides up the inside. Nice little bit of pressure there from Brucey, only for one lap, one corner, but it was enough to get the position off Graphics. Smoky Tom there. Oh, sideways a bit moment there for Graphics. Still got dirty tyres and gonna got dirty tyres again. Coming out that right hand, and picks up a half second. I think it's a bit harsh, that one. You were a bit of a, couldn't really get the power down. Still got dirty tyres. Look at all of this. You think 41.5 minutes of racing, and you've got third all the way down to 10th position on this little straight. That's how close these guys really are at racing. Osman's worked his way up to 10th, but that was, I think, because Mark's pitted, so Mark's down to 13th. Probably not the best place to have come out, right behind two other guys. Makes a move up the inside of Ice into the last corner. Is Ice going to be having a look back? But looks like the two Lexus boys are in on the end of, is it lap 23? It is. So let's jump back to, where were we? Mark, he kept ahead of Ice, hasn't made a move on James at the moment. So he's up to 10th position. And Osman here in 8th. So there is a bit more of a gap between the two of these two that were first and second before they came into the pit. Obviously they are hoping that everyone else is going to pit and they don't have to try and work their way through the rest of the pack to get back to where they were. But Osman having up to a bit of trying to do a bit of aggressive driving around the outside of this uphill right-hander. Don't think it's going to work, but potentially getting a better drive coming out. Ooh, graphic 7 and penalty, going 3 wide there for a second. Looks like Osman's on the inside here, but Surfer not letting him have it his own way. Going a bit side by side action. I think Osman potentially will have him if he doesn't before the bus stop. Maybe into turn 1. Stick with him, but the Wiz is into the pit, so he's had his mediums and his softs run done. He'll probably go back onto softs for the rest of the race. See where he can pick up from where he comes out. These boys have just gone past him in the pit, but Osman gets him down, gets Surfer into turn 1, and will make his way up to the back of Gary for 4th place. Did anyone else pit? James pitted as well. So Golden and Brucey back out into last and second to last, but they are the first, or one of the first, to make their second stop. Will they get past James? Where is James? He's still coming out of the pit lane at the moment. And Golden Brown is on the exit. Already gone through, so James is a good 5 or 6 seconds, I'd say, behind Golden Brownie at the moment, but I think everyone will be on racing softs who are doing a 2-stop to the end of the race. He and Staffy in 11th and 12th. Wiz now, who was obviously in first when he came into the pit, comes out in 10th. Seems everyone seems to be coming out in 10th when they make their pit stop at the moment. They're at the front. Ice there looks like he'll be coming in fairly soon because he's not got much tyre left on that front left. see. Oh, Mark set a fastest lap, or about a tenth quicker than Wiz's fastest lap. It was at 44.72, 44.67. So, oh no, not even that's half a tenth. It looks like a lot of people are coming to the pit. Graphics are coming into the pit. Surface coming to the pit. Smokey's coming to the pit. So we've got another 3 guys coming to the pit. So it's going to promote Mark back up to 5th position at the moment. Gary there, he might be able to. Ooh, will Gary be able to be doing a one stop as well? I think both the McLarens started on the mediums. No, Gary did start on softs and went to softs, so Gary will have another pit stop to do before the end of the race, I do believe. This man there back up to 3rd place. Scott there on his one stop strategy. He's got tyres to burn, but I'm not sure about the fuel. And Phil there on his one stop strategy. He's got a lot less fuel than Scott. Scott's on bang on halfway, and Phil is about 35% fuel left. Will that be able to make him another 14 minutes? We shall see. We may end up having to go even slower to make this strategy work, just to make sure he doesn't run out of fuel. But as we are with Phil, he's going a little bit slower than some of this. We will do a lap guide of the track, so we can come here, breaking around 200 metres into this right-hander. Don't go wide over this curve, we will pick up a penalty. We have this is the longest part of the track, just all flat out, up the hill, right lefter, and another right here, and up towards the bus stop. Ice Chad has come into the pit, as I thought he would do. Around the 300 to 250 mark, slam the brakes on, chuck it in, make sure it doesn't get too loose. And then this long right hander, this is the corner that kills your tyres. And then you can cut right there to do the shorter track, or you can come round the boot part of the lap. There's another left hander here, and then down towards the lowest point of the track. Then you start going back uphill. It's 180 degree right hander. And then there's the penalty line, which is a horrible penalty line because it's going uphill out of a corner, so you really do lose a lot more time than you are given. But when you come into the right hander here of the boot, then this is where you come out of the boot onto another, let's say about 110 degree left hander, and you join back onto where the cut through would be for the short track. Don't corner here, left hander, and another one you don't want to be running wide on, so you do pick up a penalty. Gary's coming into the pit this lap. Does ruin the end of the lap guide, but thank you, Gary. And that's the right hander before the line. Not Gary, Phil, sorry. Osman's put right up to the back of Scott, but Scott is obviously fuel saving a little bit to try and make this one stop work. But Scott is up to 1st place, so the two Supras, completely different year they were brought out, fighting for 1st and 2nd. And Will Osman dives to the inside. Ooh, a little bit of a tap, but I think that's a bit more net code due to the distance that Scott's having to send a signal from to the host of the race. But that does put Osman into 1st place, so back where he was before he pitted. Mark in 3rd. Will he be able to make up any ground on Scott for the last 10 minutes of the race? And Gary there in 4th. He is going to have to pit, it looks like, at the end of this lap, so he's going to have to go 1 lap longer than his teammate. Wiz there in 5th place. Picked up a 5-second penalty, but he's got racing softs on, so he's going to be doing some fairly quick laps, especially with only half a tank of fuel. Phil has come out in 6th place, so his one stop, which I thought he potentially was trying to do, hasn't worked. He's had to come in and get a fresh set of softs, get a bit of more fuel into the tank, because he was down to about 30% before I jumped onto the lap guide with him. Staffy there in 7th, so the one stop is working for him so far. Wacky as well. Well, I think everyone's pitted. Has everyone pitted? No. Yeah, everyone's pitted in the last couple of laps for the second time, so that'd be why Wacky and Staffy are a lot further up the field than I thought they would be, to be fair. I didn't think the one stop would have worked as well as it has, but these two fighting for 6th and 7th position. There, we know how good that Porsche is up the hill, but how good is the Supra? Looks like the Supra could match it. If anything, the Supra outpowers the Porsche. Look at it pulling away down the straight, and Wacky's in his slipstream. Nothing he can do about it. Smoky Tom there in 8th position. Brucey there going side by side with Gary, who's going to go through it. Gary's going to go through in front of Brucey, and Golden Brownie there still following Brucey's coattails since they came out of the pit for the second time. Surfer there, look at the tyre wear between the two of them. Golden's already down to halfway, and Surfer, but there was what, 2 laps difference? Golden pitted on lap 24 and Surfer lap 26. It shows how that much that Lexus burns through its tyres, especially on this track. It just absolutely eats him. But graphics there in 13th place. James not far behind in 14th. So Ice has dropped off the back of, because he was running with his teammate at one stage earlier on in the race. It might have had a little incident on a later lap, 149, so that's probably why. 2 149s in the last 3 laps either side of his pit stop, so that would have been why he's dropped back from his teammate. But they have started to spread out now through the field, but Osman there, I just noticed he's on a fastest lap of a 144.2. I think Mark was the 144.6, so he's gone a whole 4 tenths quicker than the current fastest lap was before he set that. So definitely enjoying this set of tyres. Gonna have to make these last to the end of the race. I don't think anyone else is going to be pitting now, not with just over 5 minutes left of the race to go. They'll probably just eke it out because it's such a long pit. You'll just, even from here, you'll probably end up being back to about, well, you'll be in that pack coming into the boot on that mini map. So yeah, you'll be fighting for about 10th position if you end up hitting from first round now. Scott there is getting caught by Mark. Only about nearly 2 seconds of lap. Mark is catching up to Scott, so I do believe, or I do reckon, that Mark will get ahead of Scott by either the end of this lap or the next, which will be nearly the last lap of the race as well. I think 33, maybe 34 for the front guys, with how quick their pace has been for the race. It was up to 4th, so Genesis has done fairly well from the didn't do a very good first stint. I think Wiz was down to about 8th or 9th, and James was down to about 11th or 12th, but Wiz has definitely been able to make the most of the soft tyre on that Genesis. I feel there, let's see, Not the strategy he wanted of trying to fuel save it and then not being able to make the one stop work and having to pit again. But here come 6th, 7th, 8th, Stuffy, Wacky and Smoky Tom. And looks like Tom will probably try and get past both of these two. He's got a lot of fresher tyres. Doing 44s where these two are doing 47s. So it's just a matter of time for Tom to try and get past them, because it's not the easiest of tracks to overtake, let's say. Is Tom going to go up the inside of Wacky there? No, Wacky just cuts his nose off through the apex of the corner. It's, yeah, Tom says, I bet that's the better grip he's got coming out of the corner. Oh, he goes for a 2 for 1. Let's have a look again at that move from Smokey on board. And go for the out. Chase cam. And he gets a better drive of Wacky coming out of the toe. Later onto the brakes. Gets past Stuffy. Yeah, nice little 2 for 1 there for Smokey. So up to 6th place for him. And nothing that Stuffy can do to retaliate into the next corner. So nice little move there from Tom. And Gary there in 9th place. Just dropped off. Brucey just dropped off the back of Gary for the moment, but I think that'll be tyre wear, because Gary's got a nice fresh set of boots compared to Brucey's fairly worn softs. And Golden Brownie's in the same boat as well. Looks like they're going to get another 2 laps worth of the race left, I would say. I think we're going to get this lap in the next. But Surfer here coming up to the back of Golden Brownie, it looks like. And it does look like, you know, Golden Brownie's defending. Will Surfer try the move? It is a quicker car. Side by side, Surfer does back out a little bit coming into the bus stop. And graphics there just behind, just waiting for anything to happen between these two, but Golden's been able to defend off Surfer for 11th as ace, so even though they're not going to be getting any champagne at the end of the race, they're still fighting hard down back of the table. James there in 14th, Ice there in 15th, so Ice not been able to make any grounds up to the back of James since I last checked in, but we've got less than 2 minutes to go, so yeah, these boys will get another lap in, I would say. Mark's got past us Scott, which I thought he would do, and just obviously got a bit more fuel to burn, because it's worked out by obviously how much fuel you have done per tank, and obviously Scott's done a lot more laps per tank than Mark has, so it may look like they've got the same amount, but I assure you they haven't. Scott tried to really ramp up how much fuel he was using. It would soon get into the veg fairly quickly. Was there in 4th, bit of a lonely second or third stint for Wiz, but the second stint was the almighty one that got him from mid-pack to nearer the front. Fuel there with his fuel light flashing. Let's have a look to see if anything. Ooh, side by side through the bus stop. Don't think that's gonna work too well between Golden and Surfer. So they've had it again coming up to the bus stop. Side by side, who's going to back out first? I don't think anyone does. No, they're going side by side, keeping it clean. Fair play, boys. That's cracking racing to not touch at all going through there. And look at Golden's tyres, got absolutely nothing. So Surfer had full faith that Golden wasn't going to run him off, but they're still fighting through the rest of this lap so far. Surfer's looking this way and that. It does dive up the inside. Has he got him? It looks like he has. Surfer's got past Golden Brownie. Oh, gets a bit of a tank slapper coming out, and so does Graphics. So that's giving Golden Brownie 11th place back over Surfer. But is Graphics going to try and make a move around the outside? No, he's not. But it looks like the top 5 have got through to start their last lap. Stay on board with these, see what they do, but we jump up to 6th place now. So Tom comes home in 6th place. Great result for your first time in the Infinity League. 3 wide. How was that? Staffy was in 7th. What happened there? Did he go a bit wide into the wall? Ooh, looked like Wacky gave him a nudge. Gary's done a Moses manoeuvre and come through the middle of him. So Gary finishes in 7th, Staffy 8th, Wacky 9th, Brucey in 10th, Golden holds off Surfer for 11th, Surfer in 12th, Infinity Graphics in 13th. James looks like he just loses out to Ice Chand in the last corner. Mine's a little bit wide, he's got absolutely no tyres. Ice says thank you very much, I'll take 14th. And James finishes in 15th, so we jump back up to the front. Mark there's just holding off Scott. Got past him, but not been able to pull anything from Scott the last couple of laps. Obviously, if you have liked this content, please do leave a like and subscribe. Obviously click the bell icon and obviously get notified when I go live next time. Yeah, so Osman's obviously won a fairly clean, decent race. Obviously had a good battle at the beginning of the race with Mark, Phil and Jim. And obviously just a good strategy pulled out there from Osman was let him come home to finish in 1st position. So the winner of the Infinity Round 4 at Watkins Glen is Osman. Mark is happy with 2nd place, Scott home in 3rd, Wiz in 4th, and Phil comes home the line in 5th place. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.